Good morning. This is Jackie.
Hello, everyone.
Jackie is amazing. Jackie takes care of my child, and Jackie also is working on her social media and customer relationships. Is that the right word? So today we're doing Best of Both Worlds, and Best of Both Worlds is how we integrate dermatology with cosmetic surgery. And it seems a little bit of a stretch to say bed bugs are the best of both worlds, but if you're on a trip and you take a trip to Paris or London or someplace glamorous or not so glamorous and you get bed bugs, it ruins your trip. Is that the truth?
Oh my gosh.
So you don't feel good, and that's really what beauty is about, feeling good and confident and having a good time. So I invited Jackie to be on the show today because I was talking about bed bugs, and I'm like, this is something I don't see very often, and she's like, Jackie jumped up, and what did you say?
I said, I learned about them a while ago, and ever since, I think they're so disgusting, and I want everyone to know what I know. So
and she's sort of a weirdo about this whole topic because she's kind of obsessed with bed bugs. What did you say?
I'm just a nerd, and I like things that are weird sometimes, so when it's creepy, I'm like, oh my gosh, and I just obsess over it.
No, what got you so obsessed? Did you get a bed bug bite, or what made you so...
Do you know Reddit?
Because this is weird. I mean, really.
Because I know
it's like, it reminds me of one of our staff. He got obsessed with beheadings, and he spent an entire weekend watching beheadings, which I thought was really strange, and I still think it's strange.
Okay, no, it's not like that.
And I won't say who, Lawrence, but but why did you get obsessed with bed bugs?
I do a lot of late night reading, and there's this app that you read a lot of different stuff about everything, Reddit, and I started reading it, and I was just disgusted when I saw the picture, and then I saw it was like, there's an epidemic, and I just got scared, and then it just led to, so it's nothing.
Did you spend the whole night reading about bed bugs? You
did?
Like
recently, so that's why.
So have you a lot of times when people read a lot about stuff, what happens is they start to believe that they have them.
I was paranoid.
Have you ever had bed bugs?
No, but.
Are you certain?
Yes.
Are you afraid you might get them? Like when you go to a hotel, or a motel or wherever you stay, do you start to look for bed bugs?
Mm-hmm. And now what I do, with the protocol basically to avoid them, I check the mattresses, and then whenever I take my things home, I wash them immediately, and I just make sure that I don't put anything in my house until it's clean, because you can spread it in suitcases and.
Okay. So
I know
we need to give everybody Jackie's email because if you have any questions, it sounds like Jackie knows a lot about bed bugs. Well, let's start from the very beginning. What do they look like? Jackie, do you know how big they are?
They are about the size of a pea or larger, just depending on how old they are, and they're very flat. So they look like a brown ladybug.
Right. So they're basically about the size of a pencil eraser. They say about 5 to 7 millimeters in length. Now, there are two different varieties. There's the newer variety and the older variety. I don't want to say the Latin names because I can't really pronounce them very well. But anyway, so they're tiny. And where do they hide? Do you know?
Beds.
They're hiding beds, hence bed bug. Very genius. They also can hide behind paint, behind wallpaper, they can be on furniture, and they're usually in places that are a little bit disheveled. Now, the places that they're going to hide in beds is, do you know where?
Mattress.
Mattress, but where?
The seams.
The seams, yes, the seams and the corners. So that's where they like to go. Now, one of the things is when you get into a hotel room where there are bed bugs, they feed at, do you know when they eat you, or when they bite you?
When you're asleep, because they are drawn to your carbon dioxide in your breath and the sound of your heartbeat.
Yes, so they're attracted to vibration, they're attracted to heat, they're attracted to carbon dioxide, and they usually feed in the morning, about 1 hour before dawn, before you get up. And they only feed on areas where you're not covered. So for a person who's cuckoo like you can start wearing mittens to bed, and you can start wearing like full-length suits.
Wouldn't they get to your face? Or no?
Well, you'll have to wear a bug net on your face too.
Okay, bodysuits.
All right, so when they bite you, do you know what the breakfast, lunch, and dinner sign is? If you get bed bugs, they tend to like to cluster in groups of threes, because they'll bite here, then they'll bite here, then they'll bite here. And when they bite you, it takes them 3 to 12 minutes to bite you. So they're on your skin for a long time. Now, you were talking about the venom. Bill, our cameraman, was talking about the venom that they have. And in the venom, do you know what they have?
It's an anesthetic. Right?
It's sort of an anesthetic. It's hyaluronidases, kinins, and proteases, I believe. And so what these do is they actually get into your system, and they can cause the reaction that we see with bed bugs. And do you know what they look like, the bites?
maybe like raised bumps, almost like measles, but in a line. Like,
well, the clusters of 3.
Okay.
But they can look like red bumps, they can look like hives, and they can also look like blisters, water blisters. So that can happen as well. Now, when we talk about this, we talked about the feeding, and a lot of people are trying to eliminate these bugs, but they can actually live for a very long time, up to how long without eating?
oh, up to a year.
Up to a year without eating, so it's hard to get rid of these bugs. And as Jackie was saying, they're becoming resistant to a lot of pesticides. But if you're trying to prevent getting the bite, you can put on permethrin, and you can actually treat your furniture with permethrin. And this actually may help to kill them. Now, a couple of the other techniques that they're using to kill the bugs now are heat. And I read an article that said it's about $400 to have your house heat treated. Now, the other thing that can happen is the other thing you can use is CO2 traps. And because the CO2 is the what you breathe out when you're exhaling, that's what they're attracted to, so you can get traps for that. So, we've talked about how to prevent them. The other thing that I've read a lot is that if you keep your suitcase off the floor when you go to a hotel room, that helps, because they aren't very good at climbing. But yet the article I just read said that they can crawl up your walls, and they can crawl on the ceiling, and then they drop from the ceiling onto you.
Oh, that's horrible.
Does that scare you, Jackie?
It's just disgusting. It's like that bug that will never, like, its hunt is for you, and that's what's gross to me. It's like searching you out. And yeah, and the one other treatment that I heard that eliminates them, like, to the like point where they don't come back is there's a gas called Vicane that you can tint your house with, but it's super expensive. And you don't have to move your furniture or anything. It just gets them all in. Okay. It's just super expensive, so people don't really do it. But that's
you'll have to look into that tonight, Jackie, and tell us who does it.
I'm on a
so
mission.
We know. All right, now if you get these red bumps, they're not that serious, but we can treat them. Oh, and one of the things that's interesting is Jackie was reminding me of this, that it can take days to weeks before you get the bugs or the bumps to appear. And you can have a more severe reaction the more times you get bitten by bed bugs. But the treatments are pretty simple stuff, very common derm treatments we can use. Hydrocortisone, more potent topical steroids, antihistamines for the itch. Those are the mainstays of therapy. So if you want to know more about bed bugs or if you feel you've been bitten, come and see us at Contour Dermatology.